everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jeff. It is Saturday night and we're going to take a look at some things that sold today. I was kind of holding off this video. I've had a flurry of sales last night and today, and then I was kind of waiting to see if I was going to get some more sales to make this video, and then everything kind of died. But we do have a number of items tallying 245, not counting the local sales, since yesterday's video. So it's not a bad day. And I know that there are, like, I was watching some fellow YouTubers, James in particular. I'm a big fan of his channel over at My Boring Reseller Life. And he's having a day in terms of basically his worst day in 20 years. So I'm wondering if a lot of you guys are having similar experiences of like long periods of time with no sales. Something feels really off at eBay right now. I don't have any words to really describe it. I don't have any insight. It's, for me, sales have been kind of like normal for in August for me. I think to myself how things could be so much better if the site was working properly, but there's a lot of people that are experiencing a lot of different issues, and it's really concerning in terms of, like, you know, you would think eBay, I criticize them a lot because I know they can be better. And, you know, I did a video yesterday showing how, like, the search results are all whacked. And it's just like, you know, we as sellers, it's hurting us because when we don't have sales, when we get an offer, it's like Christmas, right? It's like, oh, we have to accept that, even though it might not be the price that we want. But for me, like, for example, that hat that I was showing you yesterday, I felt compelled to accept that offer because I'm like 65th on the search results when I should have been 4th, if you're looking at it strictly from relevant search terms. So it's like, in my mind, I'm like, I don't know if anybody's ever going to see this item again. I might as well take this offer. Like, I had no money in on it. It's 12 bucks. Maybe it pleases Cassini, and in his eyes, you know, the amazing algorithm that eBay has, you know, maybe he'll send me some more sales. It's kind of pathetic, to be honest with you. It's kind of pathetic that we just can't go about our normal, you know, routine, our normal, you know, creation of our stores. We fill our stores with items. We expect eyeballs to actually be able to find them. So I'm not necessarily speaking like, yes, sales are low, but I'm still seeing sales of, like, kind of like some pretty obscure items that I'm going to show you tonight. We'll start with the big sale of the day. I don't have it because I've already packaged it up. It's nothing special. It's basically, it was a 68 issue lot of, like, these little mini Archies, and except they were Jugheads. It was like a bunch of Jughead books. Just tore this. And that sold for $86. I sent an offer out. He accepted it. He didn't counter. I mean, I get these things fairly inexpensive. I'll buy lots of them when I see them pop up on Craigslist or Marketplace. They are long tail sellers. I basically lot them up in the relevant titles. Like, this one's like Pals and Gals, but there's like Veronica, there's Jughead, there's Archie, there's different spin-offs of Archies. So I just try to create like a lot that's appealing, and then you know, group a bunch of them together. As I said, I get them for like a quarter or 50 cents each. So, you know, if you can, you know, sell them for, you know, $1, $1.50 each in a large lot, you're making money. And what was I gonna say? Media mail. So I made this comment the other day about how media mail is not as cheap as it used to be, and maybe I should have been more clear. Heavy, like 2, 3, 4 pounds and higher, like media mail, the post office is really closing that gap on the large, heavier, medium mail packaging versus like Ground Advantage. It's nowhere near what it used to be. So it's definitely going to impact my strategy when it comes to selling like large lots of books. You know, like I try to group like some like Stephen King books together or Clive Barker books together. It's definitely going to make me think like I'm really going to have to get things super cheap, because it's almost like you have to subsidize some of that shipping, right? Like you really have to make it, in the eyes of the consumer, what they're getting versus what they're paying for shipping. It's almost comes to a point where, you know, we as sellers, we have to eat some of that shipping and handling as shipping and handling continues to go up each and every year. Inflation keeps going up, and it really causes us to adapt. So always factor that in. All right, this sale kind of really blew me away. These 3 little Woodworth's Christmas buttons, they sold for $21 including shipping. That just blows my mind. Like, there's nothing special about these. I have shown you guys that you can make money selling buttons, and they're so easy to ship. Yes, they take a while, but if you have like a proper filing system, and you know, you get those little compartments that have the, you know, all the different pull-out things, and you got to be really strict about that. You really got to have an organized system. But there's definitely money to be made in buttons if you're willing to just wait for that right buyer. I mean, you know, I buy these things in lots, and they probably don't cost me more than a dime each. All right, okay, so I showed you guys, I showed you guys these X-Men that sold yesterday. The gentleman added this Walking Dead. This is actually a reprint of the very first Walking Dead. And it sold for $8. So I basically turned a $5.50 sale into $13, which is, you know, I constantly talk about increasing the you know, the item per item cost profit. It's everything. You know, instead of having to package these 2 separately, I could just put them in one. Fun little fact about The Walking Dead: when it first came out as a comic book, nobody was interested in it. Like, it went like 6 or 7, and it went like 6 or 7 issues. Nobody was buying it, and it wasn't until like after that it started to pick up steam, and then it went on to be like the pop culture phenomenon that it is. Although it's, you know, it's a little bit exhaustive right now, the whole zombie genre. But that's what made those early issues so desirable, was because they were so low printed. Nobody was buying them. Nobody was collecting them. Nobody was reading them. And it wasn't until it picked up, you know, around issue 8 or 9 that it really started to gain some steam. So I don't know why I thought you guys might find that interesting, but I found it interesting. All right. Who would have thought a Japanese cat magazine, lot of 2, would have brought in $25 plus shipping? This is exactly what this is. These are just a magazine that is in Japanese devoted to cats called Nico. Somebody had messaged me. I think I had sent an offer, and then he was messaging me asking me if the price was for 1 or 2. And then, you know, I kind of got creative. I had recently 3 in a multi-quantity listing. So 1 sold. I believe I showed you guys that when it sold, and then there were 2 left. So I kind of got creative, and I gave them a deal because I believe I had them for like $17 a piece. But I kind of just wanted to move them. Like, when you've got somebody that's interested, you got to make them. Sometimes you got to make them an offer they can't refuse, right? So I'm like, if you buy them both, this is what I can do, including shipping. And then so it was 25 plus shipping. Okay, so this next thing that sold is from a viewer, and it feels very weird to say this. It feels so surreal to say this. So this is from a viewer. and I will say this is the first time that a buyer has bought anything from me. This sold for $2.30. I basically have I bought a bunch of these stickers, and it wasn't a complete set. So what I decided to do was create a listing, and basically for people who collect these and want to fill their run, they can come in and they can pick and choose which ones they want. So yes, I could have just listed it, you know, as a lot, but I feel like we have to get creative as sellers in terms of like, and if we want to maximize our profits. So that's how I chose to do this, and I've sold a few things out of that, you know, and it's just there waiting for people who, you know, He-Man's not going anywhere. He-Man is gonna live in infamy of like 80s pop culture toys. There's always going to be a He-Man collector. It's just a matter of time until someone wants to come together and, you know, buy, you know, a significant amount of them because they want to complete a run. Anyhow, let me read the message. Again, this is so surreal, and I appreciate it. It's not necessary, guys, but it is appreciated. Hey Fro Sells, what's up? I thought I'd support your store with a small purchase, so as I enjoy watching your videos. I would like card number 1 if it's still available. I believe it's the Skeletor sitting on the bone throne. Here's to feeding the algorithm. LOL, Dark Thrifter, aka Mike. Thank you, Mike. I really do appreciate that. I'll get this shipped out to you. Here we have a dead mouse baseball cap. New with tags. This sold for $35 with shipping. I'm not familiar with Dead Mouse. I do believe they're a band. I'm pretty sure that they're a band, but I don't know anything about them. I just recognize their logo. Picked this up at a thrift store, and yeah, it's 35 bucks. So this sold for $5 or $6 the other day. I showed you this. And then he went on and added this. I just picked this up at a thrift store the other day. I showed you guys, and this X-Men. Both of these were the add-ons. I believe it was $10, and so $17 that they added. So basically, you turn a $5 order into a $22 order. So okay, let's see. Something that I don't have because I wanted to get it in a label and I wanted to package it and ended up shipping it out yesterday. These little Minecraft is a franchise, and there were like these 5 little box figures. They were like this big. They were inside the box. I don't even know what they were. I just listed them, and they sold for $29 plus shipping. And you know, that's sometimes how I roll. Like I like to buy franchises. So, and I didn't even buy that specifically. It was just in a lot that I had purchased. So the other thing that I don't have up here was I had showed you some Kiss comics the other day, and I showed you a book that he was going to add. He was thinking about adding, and I didn't want to really add it to my totals of the day. He did end up picking that up for 20 bucks. So yeah, so we've got 10 different sales for $2.45, and then we have a Snoopy that you're going to be seeing in a clip coming up. That it's like this little doll that I had sold locally today for $25. I took that down from eBay, and then something that wasn't even worth me showing you guys, which is a couple cork boards that I had just lying around, taking up space. Sold those for 12 bucks locally. So I did, you know, $2.45 on eBay, $37 on local sales, and that really puts me right around $2.85, which is kind of what I want to make for each and every day. But it's so hard with the way eBay is working right now. It's so difficult to have consistency. Like, I feel a little bit fortunate that sales have been pretty decent when so many other people are struggling. I can't explain it. It's like it's my turn, right? This is how it feels like eBay. It's like when other people are having phenomenal sales, my sales are garbage. When other people are having crappy sales, my sales are strong. Why does it have to be that way? Why does it seem like eBay doles out who gets sales and who's not? It doesn't make any sense in terms of like from a store perspective. You know, I say this all the time. It's like if we had a brick and mortar store, it would be so hard to conduct business if we got like 3 or 4 customers in the morning and then nothing for the rest of the day or the evening. It would be like, what's the point of even having a store? Now, I'm not saying what's the point of having an eBay store, but there's some questions there, right? There's some questions that eBay really needs to answer in terms of what's going on with their website. Why are they having so many shutdowns? Why are they having so many problems with people checking out? Why are they having so many problems with search and the ability for customers to actually accurately find the items that they're searching for, not show them a whole bunch of irrelevant searches? You know, I was thinking the other day too, wouldn't it be nice, and this I'm sure would be too complicated, but I had expressed a desire to be able to kind of like, when people counter your offers, you can't actually see where they're at, right? Geographically, what country they're from or what area of the United States they're from. But wouldn't it be nice if, I'm just spitballing here. Like, I'm just thinking there has to be a way to give incentive for people closer to you geographically to shop for you. It seems like, I mean, I'm sure it's not, but it seems like those Archies were going to Florida. So it was like the furthest possible place from where I'm at in the States. It would have been nice if they would have been closer, right? Then the shipping and handling would have been not as much. But it just seems like all my heavier items are always going to like Connecticut or New York or Texas. It would be nice if there was a way in that algorithm that it could show people your items to customers who live geographically closer to you, right? Wouldn't that be nice? Doesn't that just make too much sense? I don't know. It's just like a wish list. Like, I constantly, as a seller, you know, yes, we're always looking about ways that it can benefit us, but that wouldn't just benefit me. It would benefit you as well. It would like most likely benefit eBay in terms of more sales, and so they would make more money, right? If they could just find a way, you know. Anyhow, it's late, it's Saturday night. I'm going to a comic convention tomorrow, like a small one. So I wanted to get some footage up here. And then maybe complete it tomorrow before I go. So I'm going to sign off right now and then see if I get any more sales. If not, then this will be the end of it. So if you haven't and you're still watching, it would help me out a lot if you could consider subscribing. I joke about feeding the YouTube algorithm. I call them algo. But it would really help me out. I'm trying to get to 1,000, trying to get my channel monetized, and yeah, we'll go from there, guys. And let me know in the comments any questions or anything you've got, anything you want discussed on the channel. We'll go from there, man. Take care. Have a good Saturday evening. Here's a local sale that I pulled off of eBay. I just had to show you this. I mean, it's kind of creepy the way it's laughing. Sounds like it's up to no good. Anyhow, I had this bundled with another Snoopy plush, but then locally I only just listed this one. So I'll just add the other plush to another lot. Happy to get rid of this just because it was taking up some space, because I didn't want to put it with all my other plushes for fear that those would get damaged.